Ocean Falls, some people think it's a ghost town, but for me it's just a place where I grew up as a kid, took off for a while, and came back and raised my own kid here. So with, you know, like 20 people was the average then, only kid in town, so it was a different perspective then, right?
My husband grew up here and so did his mom back in the day. And I think I was 9.5 months pregnant. We walked by a Remax office in Vancouver and they spied the heading Ocean Falls. So shoves a piece of paper at me, says, we bought a house. And I said, in Canada? He said, yeah. Okay, I'd never heard of this place before.
We were the first family in that Cypress Apartments up on the dam hill there, and that was interesting. I still go in maybe once every few years, have a look, and I think, you know, there's 9 of us in my family, and I'm like, there's 3 little closet-sized rooms in there. But I've seen the changes here, you know, like coming back, for instance, in 2000, the ferry would come here for like 4 hours, and you know, the old crumply folks coming off the ferry all just choked up and teared up because the way the place looked now, eh? I mean, it was a super cool spot, but now I kind of like it the way it is. But when my mom finally came for a visit, because she was here as a kid and then brought her family back in the 60s, and Jim Nyland went up to her, oh, I guess it must look terrible to you, eh? And she's like, oh, heck no, you know, there's got to be a lot less gossip and rumors going on with this look. So, and that's basically what it was in the old days. If you read the book, eh, it's about 150% turnover per 2 years, say. That's what it was. And now it was a big mill, right? 24-hour mill. But most of it, you know, it was a lot of single guys. If you didn't like the isolation, the weather was really crappy. It was always raining. I remember that as a kid. If you didn't fit in with the crowd maybe, or, you know, the rumor and gossip crowd. But the hotel was basically a big bunkhouse. That's where all the single guys went, so.
A man by the name of Smambi came in with a couple of natives from Bella Coola. They had known about a waterfall, so they brought him in here. Now, the vision that that man had was phenomenal. To take a look at that little trickle, because it wasn't that. It was just a trickle coming off the rocks, and go, pulp mill, you know? Incredible.
You know, it was a deep sea port, and they had a vision, and then next thing you know, it would seem like within the same decade, they started a plan about making a dam, a mill, and then back in the day, there wasn't any on the coast. So, I mean, even when they put this hotel up, it was always, you know, claimed as the 3rd biggest north of San Francisco. And like I say, they wooed everybody they could in with, you know, they got everything, tennis courts, gun clubs, you know, swimming, Olympic swimming pools, which, you know, for a little town of, you know, 3,000 plus people, we put out a pretty good handful of Olympic swimmers, some gold medalists. It was crazy, because that's what you did every day after supper. Every kid got sent to the pool, right? So you rolled up your stuff, went to the pool while mom and dad, you know, had a breather, or, you know, worked on some more family.
It's just a wonderful place to grow up, the sense of community, you know, because you're so isolated that you all have to learn how to get along, right? And they did that really well back in the day. Oh boy, there was a movie theater, there was a swimming pool, Olympic size, every club known to mankind for kids. There was a skeet shoot. I mean, there was just everything here. They just, you know, couldn't give the kids enough of happening here. It was incredible.
Battleships would come in, and they would always roll off this little replica kind of you know, pirate cannon thing, eh, and bring it up to the school grounds here. The whole town would be there, and they'd fire off a few rounds. But I remember the exciting part was able to go on. I mean, you can go right across the bridge, right through the docks, because that big dock was all buildings. They just had like a way around it, you know, for the forklifts and the paper rolls and stuff. So, you know, it was a little roadway around it. But yeah, I remember as a kid, you cut through all that, go walk on the, you know, on one of our battleships.
It was wild. My husband's got great stories growing up here. It was something. Well, my mother-in-law has her name scratched in one of the jail cells because she got caught out after curfew and got thrown into jail. Well, when they let her out, her father worked the night shift. He's coming down the causeway while they met up. That was a story where she carved her name in there.
Well, yeah, I remember living around here as a kid, and everyone from Haida Gwaii, the Charlottes, Bella Bella, and Bella Coola would come here because they had everything as a kid here, or, you know, as a grown-up too. Like, they had the big pub, and they had the liquor store, and they had the big groceries. So the whole fishing fleet would come in and fill up, and you'd, you know, push their shopping carts to the dock, and they'd give you like $1. And, you know, in the mid-60s, that was big money for a little kid, right? We'd get cases of bottles, beer bottles from behind the hotel. There's that, you know, loading bay area behind the hotel. I mean, and Johnson Terminal was right about here. It was all wood here, eh? It was big docks. But we'd bring the bottles from behind the hotel, two at a, you know, a case at a time, you know, 10-year-olds, walk right to Johnson Terminal. I'm sure they were like, you know, you get your 10 cents for the case or whatever it was. And yeah, load up on penny candy. That store was pretty cool. It had the escalator, which, you know, that was always a lot of fun. Had the little dime horse up in the top back entrance there. It was all Hudson Bay up top, so, you know, but they always kept up with the latest records. Like, you know, it was always the latest Beatles records, and because my brothers were all the old, they were the bad boys of town at the time, you know, like, started the long hair and stuff, which, you know, was the end of the 60s, right? There was the hippie days, but yeah, it was a lot of fun growing up here. I remember that. Like, even the Cypress Apartments, Dustin, they had those little juniper shrubs. I remember as a kid, that whole bank in front was just trimmed, nice trim grass. That's where all the kids played that, you know, were still in their diapers and stuff. Yeah, I look now and those junipers are up to the 6th floor almost. I'm just like, oh yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's just like, you know, watching a movie, you know, unfold a bit. But that's what I kind of like, is the fact that I was here in the heyday. And then, yeah, and then you just take all the old footsteps I did as a 10-year-old with my own kid. Was kind of cool, you know. Taught her how to fish and shoot a gun and just, you know, swim, all of it. We had a great time. What I remember about here, pulp ball, you know, we used to call them pulp patties because they were huge. Well, that thick, eh? And, you know, the docks were pretty high up here, so you could grab boulders and throw them off the docks through these pulp patties. But I remember when we moved out of here, it seemed like I could smell pulp in my nose for like a year and a half. And I moved to Kamloops, right? So it was, you know, you didn't smell their pulp mill because it all blew that way out of town. But yeah, I just remember always smelling that low tide smell and stuff, and just as a kid, and always wanted to move back, and ended up moving to Squamish and then back to here. It's kind of like yeek. Dragged my family back here. Like in the day, it was just like a little Popeye town, you know, every road was wooden, and they just kept it so cool. I mean, even the hotel, you see pictures of it and it just blows you away, you know.
It was the First World War that just boofed it right up. Second World War, and then after that it kind of floundered until it just fell apart, right?
I left here in '72, which was the first year they started talking about shutting down. And the government took it over, I think in 1980. And tried for, like, what I heard was about a year, and just said no, it's not going to pay. So they were going to normalize the town and make it like it never happened, right? Until a bunch of regulars, you know, got in front there and did the protest thing. And
Oh, it was a mass exodus out of here, it really was. But that mill did right by their people. They found them jobs, there was severance pay, they paid for movers, they paid for your apartment. They did well by the people, right? So you couldn't complain, but there wasn't a dry eye leaving here. Nobody wanted to leave, eh? And then when they came in to burn the town down, that was really something. It was Jimmy Owens's mom, actually, that was responsible for them not burning Martin Valley down. She, a little 70-year-old woman, chained herself to one of the machines and said, "No more, you can't do this." Yeah, so it started. They saved the valley and as many houses as you see standing.
You see all the alder up here? That's where all houses were and roads and stuff. Just making paper for the world in the day, right?
When we got here 25 years ago, my daughter and the kids would play paintball wars in that hotel, right? It was just too much fun. Now I wouldn't step foot in there. It's really dangerous. All the good stuff has been taken out. People have pillaged, you know, this place for years. There's nothing left except shells, you know, and that's hard to look at, right? Because this place deserves way more than that. It's a diamond in the rough.
We got in around 95 and bought one. And just because I was living in Squamish, working there, and oh, they're selling houses in Ocean Falls, eh? So it was cheap enough where we just got a house, and probably didn't even think I'd even come up here, you know, but it got a little crazy just before the Olympics down there, so we said, let's try it anyway. We didn't think there'd be as much people here, you know, we didn't know what to expect.
I took a walk by myself down Valley Road. My husband and daughter were sleeping. I came back and said, I'll die here. This is it. You know, I loved it, absolutely loved it. And Rob had to stay in Squamish to work. So I was here with my daughter. She was just turned 5 at the time, for about a year and a half. And boy, it was the Green Acres house, let me tell you. Oh, golly, well, we had a tarp on the roof. There were leaks everywhere. So my daughter and I would make music out of the drips from the ceiling into the pots, right? That's the kind of fun that you made around here, right? It was hard, but it was worth it. Really, really worth it. We got to hang on to our kid for a lot longer, you know. That was the best part.
The harsh thing was that last ferry out of here, man. For us, it was always, last ferry, last of the summer people. You know, you got your little quiet town back. But for the kid, it was, it was the saddest thing.
Over time, my daughter became the last child in town, right? So that got really hard. We kind of had to get her out of here. It wasn't fair.
The town has threatened to kind of like, you know, lose a lot of people, but then we seem to, a few people have sold houses, and a couple families, as you know, in the last 6 years have moved in. So that's been kind of nice, kind of refreshing, and they're younger people, eh? You know, I forget I'm as old as I am, and it's like at first you think, what are they doing? You know, they're just running all over here, yapping and spending money, and then you go, okay, yeah, these kids are old enough to be my kid. So anyways, it's cool though. It's a good vibe here, and you know, we've had our up and downs here for sure. You know, it even gets a little cliquey for the amount of people here. But at the end of the day, what I always say is, you know, you're ready to you know, beat on somebody one day, but next day you're helping them fix or push their car off the road, or you know, at the end of the day, we're one kind of family here in a way, even though everyone's so individual and weird. You know, there's probably people on the run, a little mental health, a bunch of old people coming on.
I'm so happy with the families that have moved here, because without children, Dustin, we don't have a future. We're dead in the water. And I don't want that, okay? My husband's family goes way back to almost the beginning of this place. It can be rough here, okay? Everybody has their own ideas, and like you say, it takes a certain type, and that type is very headstrong. But overall, oh no, It's awesome, you know, it really is. My kid was lucky. She had a town full of grandmas and grandpas, eh? So she got a good with that. And I want to do that now with these kids. So yeah, that's what I said. I've adopted every one of you. I'm the food lady. I have grapes and apples and candy. Yeah, it's wonderful.
I don't know if you've met our town administrator, but she's really, you know, on top of things, and she's all about, you know, trying to get families in here.
I always think full-time residents are a blessing for us because it puts more bodies here for us, and it also brings children, which help build a community. And the seasonal residents have a place as well because they bring an energy and a different inspiration each year. You know, like, I think sometimes being a full-time resident, we're living right in the thick of it, and we don't always get to see all the beauty that people will come and be tourists here, and then they start talking and it warms your heart and you're like, oh yeah, all right. So it just kind of, for me, I know there's a mixed feeling about having both, but I think that we need both to survive.
The trend is definitely on the rise as far as trying to preserve housing, and I can't really say it's on the rise with people. Like Kyle and his family, I think, were the last people, and that's been a year now. But then we've lost 2 people, so it's like, right? Like, what's gonna happen with their houses? Oh well, I don't know.
I do work for the town, so I'm probably one of the busier people here, but it's way slower, and it allows me to be a part of something that I can actually make a change with. Right? There's just so much going on all the time in the world, and you want to try and make a change. Well, in Ocean Falls, you can.
There's got to be at least over 100 houses in the valley, right? Most of the houses that are for sale in the valley come with a boat, a car, all the furnishings, you know, it's turnkey, right? Who wouldn't want that if you could find a way to make a living, right?
I would love to see the town vibrant with people everywhere and have all the houses full, but the dilemma we will have is the infrastructure. I don't feel like our infrastructure could support a full town. That would be what I would be concerned with, obviously, because that's what I run. But would we get through it and figure it out? For sure. Most improvement districts are either just water or a fire department. So Ocean Falls Improvement District is a bit of an anomaly. But I feel it's the only way that we can run a town like Ocean Falls and get the support you need right now.
Even with access in and out of here, you're remote, and you feel it in the winter. When, you know, there's no planes flying, the phones will go out, you know, that kind of remoteness, if you're not used to it. I've seen people pack their bags and run out of here screaming, no kidding.
To get here, it's part of the adventure, like you know, right? So you have to really enjoy, I think, the wilderness and be okay with some hard work. Living rurally is just a little bit different. You know, whether you're doing firewood or the way that you're maintaining your home, and we get a lot of rain. So it's always just about working on things, maintaining. And then it's also your attitude, because you got to think when you're in the rain all the time, how do you stay positive? So, you know, we're doing potlucks and we're trying to do stuff like that so we can bring the inner core of our community some love and light too.
I don't know, to me, I feel like this is purgatory, because you can't go up and it's too late to go back. So we're stuck in this limbo, and we have been for a long time, right? And where do you go, right? What do you do? It starts with getting rid of these buildings, erecting a plaque, and let's move on, right?
Some of the buildings downtown, a large portion of them is belonging to another family. I believe they got it sold to them for $1 is what I've heard. Nothing's ever been done with any of the properties that they've purchased. I've would support any way I could if we could make a maneuver. We did have John Horgan come and talk to us about the buildings. We did a revitalization committee, tried to work with many agencies regarding them, all the other communities, many government agencies. It's a hard process, and it takes a lot of money.
He bought the hotel, townhouses, the apartment building, cement apartment building, and then that strip of houses there. And he's just let them go to nothing, done nothing with them, and it was viable when he bought it. That hotel, they actually got up, locked the door, and walked away. This fellow had a chance when they tore that mill down to go in with Hasco and have his buildings torn down for a third. All they wanted was a third, and he wouldn't do it. These people think that this is, worth so much. Yeah, maybe 30 years ago. Now, oh, you've got to be joking. We rode this guy hard to do something. Well, come to find out, there was 4 other people. When we got a hold of the one guy, he said, "What do you mean, we still own that?" He said, "I thought it was a joke."
We don't own it. We can't even touch it. We try to manage it the best we can to keep people safe, but it's a challenging situation for sure.
Of course, the ocean, that sustains all of us, right? The greenhouse is brand new, and the problem with the growing of things here is the fact that we have a very small window, 6 weeks, and I'm not kidding you. Someone turns on summer, you don't really get a spring, you get a summer, and then your middle of August, it's done. So 6 weeks at best, so it's hard to plant a garden with that, right? And then let's talk about the rain. There are summers here where there's been 1 day of sunshine.
We work with the BC Ferries, and they help us with regular luggage carts to bring our food over bi-weekly. And then we also have a barge that comes from Port Hardy bi-weekly as well, so you can work with Save On and you can get your groceries that way. If you're a regular resident and you like going out, you probably go out every 6 months with a trailer and fill it up. And a lot of times, if you're one of those people, you take a lot of lists and you help everybody else in the community. And what we're really trying to accomplish is the Ocean Falls Growth Society is trying to create a food sustainability place where people can come and cook meals and have extra. And then we've got the greenhouse, and we're just trying to figure it out and grow, and we're working with other communities as well.
It's amazing what you'll do when you need the groceries, right? It's like we shop exclusively out of Bella for our food, where most of the town get it off the barge. For 11 years, we had just a little 14 or 13-foot tin boat, a little riveted tinny with a 25 tiller motor on it. We did a couple trips where Eve's still got PTSD, and I mean, she's on the front of this, Dustin, so she doesn't even see the boat. And we come out one time around sunny in January, outflows, sunny day, but it was 6-footers, I guess. So yeah, I didn't even think we were going to make the inlet when we finally got there. We had $600 worth of groceries, and just loaded to the gunnels. So we come right, turn around, she says, "Oh, like, I can't." And then we're going to get sideswiped.
Everywhere else around you is flat, calm. You poke your nose out of sunny and all hell breaks loose. You get 70 click gusts, 10-foot waves out there, washing machine, it's just brutal. And once you're committed, there's no turning around. There's no shore, so you're going or you're not.
It took us like 3.5 hours from Sunny Island, which normally takes us about half an hour to get in. At one point, I'm like, "Are we even moving?" And she's looking, "Yeah, I think so." And all I could say to her at that point was, "Hey, if anything goes wrong, grab that empty gas can." And we made it back because we used to pull the boat out every time, So we met up with John and them. They went ahead of us and docked, whatever, got the boat out of the water. But when we were pulling it out, I looked, we had about this much gas left in it. It was the nuttiest trip ever, of course, but managed to do it. Like, you'd have to cut the motor right down when the big ones came from sideswipe. We'd have to face them, right? So, we're gonna miss our inlet. And then the weirdest thing though, when we got home, I'm looking in the mirror and I had salt buildup on my side of my nose, on my cheek, like literally salt, right? And I'm like, oh, Eve, check this out. And I go look at her. Dustin, her face was covered in salt. You could have filled up a salt shaker with this face. She started bawling when we first came around Sunny because it was so bad. And she knew it. And the first wave went over her, right? We were just like gobsmacked.
It's all a part of being here, you know. Sure, you get scared as heck, you know, during some of those storms, and in the winter, oh, it can be so brutal. You look out the window, it's windy, you're going nowhere, you know, that part of it. And then just the solitude, it's really special, you know, really is. There's a spirit here. People call me crazy, but there's a spirit here, and we've gotten to know each other really well over the years, right? So I hope I never have to leave, God willing, you know, other than in a body bag. Yeah.
Wash the ashes from my hands, and can we start something new again? 'Cause I don't wanna know who I've been, I just wanna know who you are.
Coming here to Ocean Falls, my plan was to produce one full-length feature piece on the history of the city and what life is like living here today. What I didn't necessarily plan for was just how welcome this project would be within the community. A video like this requires a lot of cooperation from residents within the community, and it was amazing to see how many people came together to make this video possible, which is very exciting for me because these are the kind of projects that I like to have on the channel. Of course, I have this crazy 1 week turnaround, so this is not a possibility every week, but it's very exciting being invested in a career path on a platform like YouTube that allows me to pursue a number of these every year. And that is only possible because of the viewers and supporters of Destination Adventure. The best way that I know to say thank you is by putting my heart and soul into a project like this one. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for making this all possible. And most of all, thanks for watching, everybody.